Welcome to the 69th Annual Power Trip NFL Mock Draft.
It is Christmas Day for Meatsauce. It's finally here, Saucy. Look.
Hell yeah, man.
Look at you. Look at you running down the stairs.
Yeah, well,
just your underwear.
Down, not up the stairs.
Trying to hug the commissioner like he's Santa Claus.
Yep. I'm glad to be surrounded in a room of wonderful men, attractive men, especially the one right there. It's an honor to do radio
Depends on which one you're talking about.
Gregg Swedberg.
Oh, is he over there?
Yep.
Hi, Greg.
Your contract's been up for a long time.
Thank you.
Look at this.
This is great.
Cast of thousands.
What do you like better, Christmas morning or this?
Well, Christmas morning with my kiddo, but now this. This is my favorite day of the year, not close.
Hey,
I'd rather do this than any other sporting event.
Hey, Zyko, do you think, are we going to get pinged for the NFL themes?
Probably.
All right.
I think PA has some PA bed that you can use.
Hey, Greg, remember when radio was fun and we could just do whatever we wanted?
Yeah, I do, Corey, and I really appreciate the fact that people think somehow I get this all the time. It was my decision.
Right, it was your fault.
No, it is not. Okay, it is not.
Can we blame it on Dropfoot then?
Yeah, it was Abbott's fault.
Throw up your drop foot.
Yep, Dropfoot basically said all the fun's over.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy boy.
Yep, you're welcome, Super Dave.
It's the day, guys. The day is here.
So look at all these people: Parker Fox, Ben Leber, Gregg Swedberg, Dave Sinykin, Paul Meatsauce Lambert, Alec Lewis, but all the way from Mormon land, from the Great Salt Lake, Paul Charchian.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Charge. Look at you, Charge.
Hi, friends.
You look
It's great to be back. It is
Hell
great to
yeah.
be back, and it's Mormontown, by the way, not Mormonland.
So what's it called?
Mormontown.
How do you say the like a Utahian?
Uton.
A Uton.
I am
You're
a Uton now. It's I still refer to the Twin Cities as us and we, and so it's still in my blood. But yeah, it's Utah freaking kicks ass. Nobody else moved there.
You spend a lot of time outdoors. It's one of the reasons you moved out there, right? There's a lot of things to see out there. Do you ever do Happy Baby out in the sun?
I feel like this is a trick question.
Yeah, do you ever tan your BH?
I'm gonna go no.
To solar power yourself.
Yeah, I don't think I want to acknowledge that in any way.
Fair enough.
Not sure what I'm walking into right now.
So you're not saying no.
That's not a denial.
Not a denial.
No.
But I'm not saying yes.
Give it a shot.
I would do it with Ben for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
There's a line,
All right.
then.
All right. I got to figure out my rates, but we can figure that out.
Wait, the rate? Who's paying who in this arrangement?
Well, Tommy for sure.
All right, should we get this thing up and running?
I don't know. I
Please.
mean, you know who the man is in charge of it? The guy who's put this whole thing together, the guy who's done all the hard work, and Greg, I'm not kidding, Meatsauce Paul Lambert has put this entire thing together. And so, I leave it up to you.
Well, thank you.
All right, should we get started right away? Do you want to talk first? What are you thinking?
I think we can get started right away. I mean, we got 18 picks to go through. PA will join us at pick 18, and he'll tell us who they're going to take. Alec Lewis is here with some good information. Leber's here. Everybody's here. It'll be great. City's here without a Packer pick. Parker's here.
He came in even
You
without
mentioned
a
Parker.
Packer
Okay,
pick.
good.
Oh.
I didn't know if you were going to.
Yeah. Parker's great.
You got to. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, Parker knows more about stuff than you think he does.
Oh, yeah, which is great. I'm glad to have all these people here. We would have had Maxo, but Maxo's on the injured list.
He's here. Hold on.
Oh, he is.
Love you, Max. Miss you, brother.
We miss you, brother.
Yeah, we can start.
What are you suggesting? There's something in his mouth right now?
you don't know?
Wires.
Oh, wires. Wires are in in his mouth right now.
He shattered his jaw. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Think Wemby the other day when he had his face bounce off the floor, but this was, I believe, off of a bike.
Yeah, and concrete.
Yep, so it just shattered his jaw in a million pieces.
Luckily, Rosie was right there by the scene, and he walked over and went,
Oh, Mark.
And then as soon as he knew he was okay, he goes, Arrivederci, off to Tuscany.
go have a meal.
Yep,
Best meal of his life.
correct.
Here we go.
Let's go.
All right, so, Sauce, you made the executive decision, and I think it's smart.
Thank you.
Why are we wasting our time? Fernando Mendoza is going to go 1, so we don't have to have a mock draft. We don't have to have somebody fake research and pick Fernando Mendoza. He's going number 1 to the Raiders.
Before we make that second pick, though, can we go around the room and just get a quick idea from everybody? Charge, Alec, everybody. Is Fernando, darling, going to be good, great, or not?
Is he worth the number 1
Yeah.
pick? Anybody think that this is fool's gold, yes or no? Ben?
No, I think he's worth the pick.
Yeah, I did too. I agree. I think there's definitely a developmental hurdle with him, but I like Mendoza. He's in a great situation. He's got Kirk there.
Kirk can be the guy for this 1 year, maybe a couple games into the following year. I don't know. We'll see how his development goes, but there's just no pressure for him to come in and lead that franchise in year one. So I think it's a good situation.
They go watch some film together, then they hit the strip and play table minimum blackjack for 5 minutes.
It's really, if you could just put a camera in the quarterback room, I mean, it would just be spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. George, yes or no?
Nerd fest.
I think he's going to be good. It's a good time to bring him in. They've basically rebooted the entire organization, which I approve of outside of ownership. And so fresh start for him. And as people have already mentioned, no real pressure to win or succeed early, which is a real luxury for any quarterback. I'd like to see him not play at all through the first half of the season if I had my choice. It's not like the Raiders are playoff contenders or likely to be. So, let him learn and give him the opportunity to get better from the bench, and I think that'll be better for him long term. But the traits there are there for him to be a successful, but to me, not high end NFL quarterback.
So here's the obvious one. Why are we not asking Dave Sinykin? That's your guy, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Exactly.
You love the guy, but do you believe it's going to translate, yes or no?
Yeah, I do. I do love the guy. I watched every second of his season at Indiana, and the fact that I'm alive and an Indiana Hoosier is the number one pick in the NFL draft is something a sentence I never thought I'd utter. Amen. It's unbelievable. He grew up idolizing Brady. He's not Brady 2.0, but he kind of patterns himself after Brady. And having Brady there to sort of mentor him, I think, is an amazing thing, along with Cousins. So, yeah, I think he'll start sooner rather than later. I don't think it'll be half the season. I think it'll be 3 or 4 weeks.
Does he have weaknesses? Like, what does he need to work on?
He's never really played under center, so the pro game's a little different. A lot of RPO stuff at Indiana. But, I mean, in pressure moments is where he stepped up. In the red zone, he stepped up. In things you can't articulate sometimes when you watch a lot of film. This guy proved it every time he had to. Just look at the Penn State finish.
That was so cool.
I think he's proven himself. I agree. I don't think he's a Pro Bowl kind of guy, but I think he's a top 15 quarterback when all is said and done.
The last mock draft I read said the only weakness he had is he likes big butts and he cannot lie.
Fair.
Yeah. We don't blame him for
The
that.
weakness is that he can't lie about it.
Is anybody nervous about the geek factor? That he's kind of a nerd?
Oh, yeah.
Because, unless you're Phillip Rivers, it doesn't happen very often where, a nerd is a dominant quarterback in the NFL.
But kind of to your point about Phillip Rivers, he was a likable nerd. And I feel like Mendoza kind of has that, where it's likable.
Oh, definitely likable.
Cringy, but it's likable.
Yeah. I think Phillip he's kind of a unicorn.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not
true.
a lot of guys that can have that dog mentality and just say frick all the time.
His trash talking is brilliant.
He really pulled it off.
It really is.
What if we get the Raiders to sign Phillip Rivers just for a year so we have the holy trinity of frick all on the same team?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
All right, so Mendoza goes 1 to the Raiders. All right, pick 2.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, well done.
Goes to the New York Jets and Ben Leber.
And can I just say this real quick? If the Raiders take all 8 minutes to make their selection, I might go right through the screen and punch that guy in the face.
Yeah, they will.
They all do. I mean, I think that's everybody takes their 8 minutes so they can be on TV. Their team, the helmet can be up. Yeah, they go through all that. I think that I'm kind of glad the NFL reduced it to 8 minutes because people would take all 10 minutes and they would know what the pick was about a minute in.
They used to take all 15 when they had 15.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that we've been talking about the Raiders in Mendoza for 3 months now. So they've had all the time that they get as far as marketing and exposure. So just make the damn selection so we can get onto the Jets. And with that, I've got the second pick. I know there's a lot of discussion about it's not exactly about what position they want to go after. It's about which one that they want to take. I'm a bigger fan of David Bailey than any other top end edge rusher out there. I think he has the most juice off the line. I think he has got a great first step. I think he actually plays with some bend, which some of these guys can't.
You like the juice.
So I'm gonna number 2 take David Bailey, Texas Tech edge rusher.
Give it to me, Charge.
I think that's the pick I would make as well. A lot of people like Arvell Reese here, but I like Bailey better because of the proven year-over-year production that he has, including 42 tackles for loss. 42.
Wow.
I mean, I love the proven production here. I think Ben nailed it. And I know a lot of people like Reese. I think Ben made the right selection with David Bailey.
Alec?
I like that pick, Ben. I think that's going to be the pick. Number 3, Cardinals. I'm going to take Jeremiah Love. They have no business adding a running back. They are not close enough roster-wise, but this guy will sell tickets, and the Arizona Cardinals don't have a quarterback. They probably will end up drafting Ty Simpson, but I think this guy will sell tickets. I would also say if they traded back, I'm not going to be surprised at all. So if you get a team like the Chiefs or something trying to trade up for an edge rusher, not going to surprise me. But Jeremiah Love is, I think, the best player in this draft. The film is, you stand up in your seat watching it. I mean, it is electric.
Well, he ran to the podium to make his pick there. I mean, anybody have any disagreements here? Any thoughts?
No.
You show me a player that has J Love on his jersey, and I'm going to be all right. So I think it's a great pick there.
I think Alec nailed it. They don't. I think Peter Schrager yesterday on ESPN said they're like the bottom of ticket sales, merch sales. This would help. They're a forgotten franchise in that the NFC West that they're in. This would be a great pick. He's the best player on the board. This would be an outstanding pick if they can't find someone to give them a truckload of picks to move out of that spot.
I don't love it just because the Cardinals' defense is so bad, and they do have some functional running backs already on roster. Love might be the best player on the board, but I feel like this, based on the defense that we saw last year, this team just needs help so many places. Defensively, safety, cornerback, outside linebacker, edge rusher. I know, kind of like what it's a little bit like what Alex said when he made the pick. How did you start? What was your preamble to your pick? Like, we shouldn't be taking a running back right now.
Yeah, they have no business.
Yeah, we have no business taking a running back right now. It feels almost like a luxury pick to take Love. I wouldn't call it it's not a bad pick for sure, but I suspect they'll go defense.
Utah.
You know, that almost, to me, Charge, sort of answers the question that I have is, if you have so many holes on defense, one guy is not going to change everything. So I think they will ultimately try to find a suitor to move down. How far they want to move down, I don't know. But if I'm Arizona, one edge rusher is not going to change anything. There's not a corner in this draft that should be drafted number 3. There's not an off-the-ball linebacker that should be drafted number 3. There's not an interior defensive lineman that should be drafted number 3. So if you feel like you're going to stretch for any of the remaining defensive players, I mean, maybe Ruben Bain, but I think a lot of people would be pissed about that if Ruben Bain goes 3. Arvell Reese, again, very talented player, but he's not changing that franchise with one selection on defense. So I think for all of the marketing purposes and, you know, giving this new staff and Nathaniel Hackett a guy that he can kind of rely upon in the run game to kind of take some pressure off of Jacoby Brissett. If they can, you know, get him signed to a better deal, I think solidifying that offense makes sense as if they stay at 3.
Well, it occurs to me that it may not be Arizona who takes Love, but somebody at number 3 will probably do that. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would love to have him, and they're willing to move up, and I'm sure Arizona would not mind moving out of that spot.
I'll say this too, like, he's a running back, but this guy is the position tag next to his name should be offensive weapon. Like, he can line up in the slot. He can motion anywhere. Like, this guy is, Bijan level talent. That is really lofty praise, but like, I've had people say to me, they take him over Ashton Genty for sure, and he's in that Jahmyr Gibbs tier, which is, we all know that guy's unbelievable. So, I think Swedberg's right there. If they trade out, there's probably going to be a team that is just like, we need this guy on our team.
All right.
There you go.
Should we move to pick 4?
Well
pick
said.
4. The Tennessee Titans. If Max was here with his mouth unwired, he would be making this pick. But Parker,
there he is.
your Batman and Robin partner Max can't be here.
Let's go.
Jeremiah Love was attached to the Titans for about a month straight.
That's right.
So, but he's off the board in this mock draft. So, Parker, what do you do at pick 4?
Well, I was looking at Alec across the table here, and I was like, are you going to do it? And sure enough, he did. But I did have a second pick. This Titans team has a lot of holes in their defense, and I'm going to go with a linebacker out of Ohio State, Sonny Styles. I think he's athletic. He's versatile on defense. He's a rare specimen, 6'5", almost 250 pounds. Jumps off on the tape.
That's a huge bitch.
It is. It's got speed coverage. He's got the ability to play all over the second level. Tennessee needs kind of a modern defensive style type of player, and I think, no pun intended, Sonny Styles is the answer.
Is this the guy that the Cowboys are rumored to want, like to potentially trade up and get?
Yes.
How likely is that?
I mean, they have the ammo with pick 20 and pick 12, but I'm pretty sure they don't have a second round pick. So I think the one swap would be is they would, trade 20 and 12 to get up to 3 and maybe something next year to sweeten the deal. But yeah, they would love Sonny Styles.
There you go. 4 picks in.
14 to go.
That's right. It's the 69th annual Power Trip NFL mock draft.
You can watch it on KFAN.com/watch. We'll do pick 5 with Sauce and the New York Giants after this on the Fan.
Welcome back to the 69th annual NFL mock draft.
That's right. Thank you. We are 4 picks into our 69th annual NFL mock draft. And everybody's in here. The experts are everywhere. Everybody right now patting Parker on the back. Flipping the bird at Alec Lewis. It's a crazy thing.
Pretty standard.
Hitting on Leber. Just pretty standard.
Charges here.
Charges back here. Yeah. Bragging about Utah. He's got 19 wives. Did you guys know he's up to 19?
Wow. That's why he moved.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's 19 times the chores and 1x the sex.
Yeah.
Wow. Well said.
That sounds familiar.
Church is back.
Took Charge 26 minutes to get there.
Yeah, man.
Charge is the best. All right. So let's continue, shall we? We're through 4 picks. We're up to pick 5. Sauce, this is your Christmas.
Yes, sir.
I think you love your son and your wife more than the NFL draft.
And donuts.
And donuts.
I was thinking about it, though. You can see.
What about the Manny's ribeye?
Oh, good point. My son and the Manny's ribeye are 1A and 1B. Yeah.
Do you like mock drafts or your wife more?
My wife.
You hesitated. Okay.
You make me nervous.
Pick 5 is the New York Giants and Sauce.
Hello.
Hi.
This is the Giants. They need a lot. This is a team that could go a lot of ways. There's late steam that they might take wide receiver Jordan Tyson at this pick. They might just wait around and see if Jeremiah Love falls to them. But in this situation, a lot of people are saying that this guy is the next Micah Parsons. They have Kayvon Thibodeau, who they will probably trade if this is the pick they make. But they are going to, with their first pick at number 5, they are going to take Arvell Reese, the edge / kind of linebacker out of Ohio State. He has a ton of talent. They love to rush the passer. They have a lot of elite players. They took the kid from Penn State last year with pick 3. With this pick, Abdul Carter, he's been okay, but you compare these two together and it will be a very great tandem with Arvell Reese being the 5th overall pick to the New York / New Jersey Giants.
You are electric.
Thank you.
Anyone?
I'll jump in. It's a luxury pick. I mean, a lot of people think Reese is going to go 2. So, I mean, this is best player available. They don't necessarily need ends, but if you feel like he's going to be special, and most people do, that's great. What I love about Reese is not just that he's a really, really talented athlete and pass rusher, but super rangy and in coverage. He's fantastic. He's one of those few defensive ends where you feel good putting him on a tight end or a slot receiver even for a short period of time. So a special player. He does not have a long history of starting. You're going to have to develop him over time, but it absolutely could go to the Giants at 5.
Yeah, I was just going to say just to piggyback off the luxury. I mean, they did address some of their issues in free agency. I mean, they have Darnell Mooney now. They did kind of beef up their offensive line with Faalele. So they have done a good job of adding some guys, even on defense, with Tremaine Edmonds and Greg Newsome. So they do have the luxury, especially now with the extra pick at 10, to just go best player available. This guy, like you said, he's kind of a freak. I think he is a little scheme specific, which is probably the reason why I chose Bailey over him as the pick number 2. it's very possible, and I'm not going to try to like put picks in Sauce's mouth because that's kind of gross. But if they are looking for offensive line help, because John Runyon and John Michael Schmitz they have 1 year left on their deals. The Vega Ioane,
I love that guy.
he probably is going to be available at 10, which would make a little bit more sense. So they kind of get the best of both worlds here.
Nordo has their 10th pick. We'll let him pronounce that name. So, yeah. No, I don't mean you, but I didn't want to pronounce the name, so we'll have him do it at 10.
I will say this. I was texting with someone who they're picking in the top 10. He said the Giants pick is crucial for everybody below. He said anything is possible after 8 because I think good players with top first-round grades are gone after that. So that pick seems to be like the pivot point probably after Jeremiah Love.
Just for fun, Sauce. And here with his best attempt to pronounce the guy you were just talking about is the fan, Sauce.
Hold on, I wrote it down hypothetically.
You wrote it down hypothetically?
And you
may or may not have written it down.
Sauce, I know that you wrote down and tried to pronounce his whole first name.
Yeah.
But I do think everybody just calls him Vega.
Yeah.
So if you want to just go cheap on it, you can just say Vega and then the last name. But I do want to hear the whole first name.
Hypothetically, do it.
You never go half.
That's phonetically.
Phonetically.
Ready, Sauce?
Me?
Yeah, dude, give it your best shot.
I'm pretty sure it's Olive Venga Yaoni.
Yeah,
That's it.
got it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think it's Olive Venga.
He was mouthing it before he said it.
Duty EB.
It's Olive Venga Yawoni, something like that.
Uoni, I think it's
Yeah.
I think you said
Yeah.
Uoni.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have everybody do it, Captain.
I'm just glad you gave your best effort.
Thank you.
Very like
Well,
you.
it's today and today only.
Anyway.
Yeah, hypothetically anyway.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
Pick 6 goes to the Cleveland Browns and Gregg Swedberg.
They could literally sit here for all 8 minutes and not be able to make a decision because all the players that are kind of right in this range are the players that they need. They have a tremendous need at offensive line. They have a tremendous need at wide receiver. There's a hometown wide receiver that they could take, but I think there's more wide receivers later in the draft. A lot of people. I just saw a mock that moved the Georgia tackle Freeling to Cleveland, but I don't think that's the pick. I think, and I just saw another report that the guy that I want to take here has a herniated disc. It's Managoa from Miami.
Miami, yeah.
Is that he has a herniated disc, but that's the kind of information that comes up really late in this process where someone's trying to talk somebody else out of taking him. So
you think phonetically that's a smokescreen?
Hypothetically, phonetically. Yeah.
He wasn't even listening. I tried to rip him and he wasn't paying attention.
I think they take Mauagoa. I think they take the best offensive lineman, and it might be Paul's guy, but I think that in this case, Mauagoa has not given up a sack forever. He's technically probably the best guy for offensive tackle, and they really won't be able to get a great offensive tackle in round 2. So take him here.
All right. Anybody else have thoughts on him?
Well, they did add Titus Howard, the right tackle, in free agency, so they may not see this as a huge need. With Ruben Bain on the board, pairing him up with Myles Garrett, I think, would be, outstanding. You look at what Bain did in Miami when he had Mesidor on the other side. Who are you going to block in that situation? So, until they get their quarterback situation figured out and their offense figured out, they might just have to have their calling card be defense, and boy, they could bolster their defense really well if they added Ruben Bain here too.
But their offense just sucks, and you can't blame it all on the quarterback. They don't have personnel at wide receiver. Yeah. Their offensive line sucks. It's
the Cleveland personnel.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Alec wrote that wonderful piece about the Vikings not being able to draft. Could have written it about Cleveland.
But I will say, Andrew Berry is always they trade back all the time. They love trading back. So.
Well, and it's very likely here too because there's a lot of guys in the next 6 picks that they'd love to have.
Yeah.
All right. Pick 7 goes to the Commanders and Paul Charchian.
I am Adam Peters, the general manager of the Washington Commanders. I drafted Jaden Daniels a couple of years ago, but my fragile quarterback missed half of the season, and my defense was arguably the league's worst last year. The Commanders need help at wide receiver, cornerback, safety, edge rusher, and running back. We're looking through all the available players, and we're going to choose Ohio State safety Caleb Downs. Our current safeties are Nick Cross and Will Harris, who have PFF grades as safety 122 and safety 131 from last year. Washington allowed the 5th most passing yards, the 3rd most passing touchdowns last year. They got to get better there, and Caleb Downs might be the safest player, defensive player in this draft. So we're taking Caleb Downs to the Washington Commanders.
And I know everybody in the whole world thinks Thieneman's a perfect replacement for Harrison Smith. No, Caleb Downs is a perfect replacement for Harrison Smith. He literally sets culture. He's super smart. This is the one guy in the whole draft I wish the Vikings would trade up for.
Yeah, well,
because he is just that good, and it's also crucial if he is drafted this high. There's other teams that need safeties between here and the Vikings, so you may not get to Thieneman if he goes this early.
And winning 5 meaningless games would have helped. If you had lost a few of those games, you may have just been able to select Caleb Downs on your own.
I think this is a home run pick because there are a lot of actual NFL draft experts that have Caleb Downs as the best player in the draft,
right?
Regardless of position. So the fact that Durante Jones gets to go take his version of Harrison Smith and literally have to do nothing as far as moving up the boards or anything. They just get to have one of the best players in the whole draft just land to them at their pick. I mean, this is a no-brainer. You chew up 30 seconds on your selection clock and you run right to the podium and make this pick.
And I get like these safeties fall every single year, but I mean, Kyle Hamilton fell. The guy's phenomenal. Brian Branch fell. The guy's incredible. Like, I don't understand. At some point, Nick Saban was on the air yesterday and Caleb Downs played at Alabama to start his career, just raving about every aspect of him as a player. So yeah, I mean, Durante to have a guy who could just anchor that defense from a smarts perspective would be kind of a no-brainer. So I would love that.
I'll mention one other thing about Caleb Downs. I could see him going even earlier to the Giants. John Harbaugh's had these great safeties, right? That have just keyed his entire defenses for years, including Kyle Hamilton now. I would not be surprised if Downs went as early as pick 5.
All right. Pick number 8 is the Saints and Dave Sinykin.
Oh, what's up, fellas? We were one of those teams actively trying to move up. Mickey Loomis has made 25 trades, I believe. They've all been moving up. He loves to move up. Jeremiah Love would have been great next to Travis Etienne, but that didn't work out. So we're sitting here at 8. There's a lot of friction back and forth. Do we go offense? Do we go defense? Could take the top cornerback in the room and add him. He was just playing down the road at LSU. He's under consideration, but we found a quarterback last year who basically, as the year went on, showed that he might be the guy, even though we had no guys for him to throw to. So we're going to find, oddly enough, the best receiver in the draft who wasn't even the best receiver on his college team, and that's Ohio State's Carnell Tate, who projects to be a Chris Olave duplicate, and he just happens to be on the team to show him the ropes. So we're going to pair Olave with another Ohio State guy, Carnell Tate, give Tyler Shugg the best receiver in the draft, and start building an offense and get Saints fans excited about what might become a team in that division that can actually rise from the ashes. So Carnell Tate's the Saints pick.
Wow.
Chris Olave's had, 4 known diagnosed concussions, and then the rest of the group of wide receivers are Mason Tipton and Kevin Austin and Bub Means.
That's a terrible.
So, they need receiver depth badly there.
Yeah, and they signed Travis Etienne as a running back in the offseason, so they're trying to solidify that offense and make it a little bit more well-rounded. And they saw what happened when they traded Rashid Shaheed to Seattle, and they're like, we probably need a complement to our wide receiver group. So yeah, this is the right pick with Carnell Tate.
All right, Nordo goes back-to-back after this. He'll pick 9th for the Chiefs, then 10th for the Giants as the Power Trip mock draft rolls on after this on the Fan.
the 69th annual NFL Mock Draft.
That's right. Here we are. And there's food here. So we lost everybody.
Yeah, they're all wandering back in.
Yeah.
They were taking a peek at the food first.
Eating.
Yep.
Talking.
Yep.
Nordo's
They're trying
on
to
the
get
clock.
Nordo situated because he's got the next 2 picks. We're doing like the snake draft.
Took him a long time to find a place to park the motorcycles.
Yeah. Did you park our motorcycles downstairs, Nordo?
God, we are so fat. Unbelievable.
Did you guys see the T-shirts on social media? People were photoshopping your faces.
So good.
Oh, I hope Barb saw that. We should sell those.
I think they would sell a ton.
open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm leaning into it.
You're the best.
Yeah, I'm very hungry right now, in fact.
Nordo, I don't know if you've been following along or not, but let me go through it quickly for the listeners as well. First pick was Mendoza. That was just a lock. We didn't even have somebody make that selection. So Mendoza went 1. Leber took David Bailey 2nd with the Jets. Alec Lewis took Jeremiah Love 3rd for the Cardinals. Styles went 4th with Parker and the Titans. Sauce took Reese at the Giants. Bosberg, how do you say your guy's name out of Miami?
Maui Goa.
Sure, we'll go with that. He was pick 6 with the Browns.
Francis.
Yeah, Francis.
His friends
Who
call him
drafts a
CeCe.
Francis. Charge took Caleb Downs 7th for the Commanders, and then the last pick before the break, Carnell Tate, Sinykin, and the Saints. But Nordo, you pick 9th for the Chiefs and 10th with the Giants. When the mock draft machine started a couple months ago, everybody thought Jeremiah Love was the lock at 9.
Yeah.
Then they signed Kenneth Walker, and now all the mocks have Jeremiah Love going way, way earlier. So what do the Kansas City Chiefs, in whatever window they have left with Patrick Mahomes, what do you do at pick 9?
All the intense research that I've done / just looking at mock drafts and copying and regurgitating information, they need a lot of help, right? They got rid of both their corners in free. They traded one and then lost Jalen Watson in free agency. Whether it's the Tyquan Thorntons of the world, Rashee Rice, can Xavier Worthy be a number 1 offensively? They need those issues. They need to protect their guy that just had a nasty injury. So with pick 9, I'm going to try to pronounce this the best I can. Vega or Olava Vega, Ioane.
Just ask Sauce.
He'll be pick number 9 to the Chiefs. So he will bolster that offensive line. Josh Simmons, their left tackle, rookie from last year. I think he missed like half the season. They got some L's on the right side that they can fix with a guy that's nasty and an elite pass protector. So Ioane to the Chiefs.
Penn State. All right. Anybody have strong opinions outside of how he pronounced the name?
This guy is like Quentin Nelson. I mean, he's kind of a sure thing. Doesn't give up a lot of pressure at all. He's vicious. He moves forward. I think it's a great pick. It's a little earlier than I thought he'd go, but I think it's a great pick.
You love O-line.
Seriously, I do.
Last 2 years, the Chiefs' seasons have ended. One in a Super Bowl where they could not protect Patrick Mahomes at all. And then last year, Mahomes got hurt and their season ended. The offensive line simply needs to get better. You mentioned cornerback is a huge gaping need, but it might be easier to fill that later in the draft. So yeah, I mean the move makes sense, and this team goes as far as Patrick Mahomes can take it. So anything you can do to keep Patrick Mahomes upright would be it makes sense.
I don't have it.
Go ahead.
I don't have it in front of me. Where's their second pick at? Like it's 28, 29?
29.
29?
Yeah.
I mean, then that's where you get into, the cornerback territory. Colton
Hood.
Some of those names will start unveiling themselves.
I mean, a lot of people have been
receiver
mocking
as well.
Concepcion from Texas A&M could go all the way down there.
It's fun to say.
What kind of a physical presence is this Vega character?
A massive physical presence.
Ballpark it.
That can fill. You mean from a physical size standpoint? Sure. He's got to be 6'3". He's probably 325. That's a huge bitch. Yeah. We need a third motorcycle.
You weren't actually that far off. 6'4", 320, according to ESPN. It's a big dude, man.
A little bit shorter.
All right.
Fatter. That's me.
Wheeling and dealing, right? Dexter Lawrence moves off the New York Giants. He goes to Cincinnati, but the Giants pick up pick 10.
Yeah. You put Arvell Reese on him at 5, I believe. So in these circumstances, now I'll be the idiot in the room, which is normal for me, but I still feel like if there was any way that John Harbaugh could find his way to Jeremiah Love, like speaking in the real draft, not in terms of the mock draft, but if they could find their way up, including leveraging this pick right here, I feel like that just looks so perfect with trying to bolster behind Jackson Dart. Malik Neighbors is going to be healthy, get Love with Scadaboo. Scadaboo's got an expiration date with the way he plays. With that said, I'm throwing darts with pick 10. Offensive line could be an option for them. They're really disappointed that Caleb Downs is gone. They loved him. Really, they were hoping to go Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs with these picks. So they're very sad. What they are going to do, and among many needs on this team, they're going to go with Jordan Tyson. They're going to go with Jordan Tyson with pick 10. They're going to add a high-end weapon that Jackson Dart can use in year 2 and pair him up with Malik Neighbors and just get weird in Harbaugh's first year with the Giants.
So I was watching SportsCenter this morning. Paul Charchian, we can start with you. And I forget the new guy that used to be like not the who's the new McShay?
Charles Manson?
No, not
Matt
Chuck
Miller.
Yeah, Matt Miller.
Yeah,
he's great.
Matt Miller says the hot late steam is that Jordan Tyson is the target at 5, not 10. That's how much the Giants like him, and they're not willing to gamble that he's going to fall to 10. That they might pick him at pick 5. So I don't think you're wrong at 10. I think they like him, but maybe even higher up.
He's the steamy late mover, right? Every draft's got the steamy late mover, and Tyson is
Hawkstad
definitely
loves
that guy.
movie.
But a lot of the times when it's the smoke this late, it's all misdirection. I don't think Tyson is I don't think Tyson is in the same category as Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, maybe even Omar Cooper, who I really like. But the late steam suggests that this is the area he's going to go in. I personally don't love it here. I would like him later in the draft, but. Yeah, this is if you believe all that late steam, Tyson goes here.
Here's the injuries that Jordan Tyson has had. In 2022, he had a multi-ligament knee injury when he was at Colorado. He broke his collarbone 2 years ago and missed the end of the season. And then he missed 3 games last season due to hamstring injuries.
Doctor said I need a backiotomy. You're fat.
What?
Whoa.
Wow,
and he needs a backiotomy. Ben, do you have a hot take on Jordan Tyson?
No, not a hot take, but I'll just, what Sauce just did is exactly why I think a lot of people have him lower on the draft boards. I'm sure that there's a red dot by his name on a lot of draft boards, meaning that he's got medical issues, he's got a medical history. If all those things check out, I think skill-wise and talent-wise, the guy, he's worthy of a top 10 pick or the Giants at this selection. I think going all the way up to 5 is a little much, but I think the talent is there. It's just, does your medical staff and your coaches feel like he's going to be available for 17 games on a consistent basis? If that's a yes, then that's a tremendous pick at that spot.
All right, can we do something kind of dumb because we're still 8 picks away, but let's just pause quickly here, not in terms of commercial breaks, but just in terms of mentally. If you're the Vikings, if you're Rob Brzezinski, and these are the first 10 names off the board, are we in line with what we thought? Are we panicking? Are we happy? Where are we at after 10 picks from a Vikings perspective? Anybody?
I think this is nothing that's happened right now with us in this room is shocking to what the Vikings haven't prepared for. I mean, they've gone through the exercise and the mental gymnastics of, people trading and all this other stuff, which could possibly happen. Obviously, we're not doing trades, but the guys themselves being selected off the board, they're expecting these guys to be off the board.
And I think it starts to get interesting for Rob and them. Like the meme of leaning forward in your chair, probably when the Cowboys, if they're still picking at 12, what do they do? Do they draft defense? Would they do Thieneman that high? And then the Rams are a wild card this year. The Ravens, they're going to be in play for a lot of guys, and then the Bucs. So that's really, I think it really 12 is when you start to lock in.
So no one's concerned. Church, no concern so far from a Vikings perspective.
This is pretty chalky, and all the cornerbacks are still left. So that if for those that feel like cornerback is where the Vikings should go, that no surprises here, and that whole position's available.
All right, Dave Sinykin, pick 11 in the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, shrewd to give me this pick because the Dolphins are now Green Bay South with John Eric Sullivan at GM and Jeff Hafley at head coach. So we have a pretty good finger on the pulse of what the Dolphins are going to do.
Good job, Sauce.
Needs everywhere. They've kind of started over. They have 7 of the first 94 picks. So we got a chance to add a lot of players to this Dolphins roster. Since it's Green Bay South, skill position's not even on the radar right now for the Dolphins at pick 11. But there's some names that definitely intrigue us. We could use offensive line help. Spencer Fano was circled on our board. If he was there, he was likely going to be the guy. But we see a defensive player sitting there, and Jeff Hafley is standing on the table right now and saying, give me this piece to my new defense in Miami. He doesn't have to travel far to visit us because he's maybe a few miles away. Ruben Bain's still on the board, and he is a ferocious, nasty edge rusher, defensive player to add to this team. And, we saw what he did for the Hurricanes. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he makes up for it in nastiness. And I think Hafley wants to add some nasty to this defense, and Ruben Bain sitting here at 11 is something they did not expect. So they are going to happily swipe him, make him the first piece of the new Jeff Hafley defense in Miami.
He's actually here. Ruben Bain is here. I booked him.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill people.
No, that's Max. All right.
Anybody?
Ruben Bain, anybody have strong opinions?
Leber loves him, right? You love him?
No, well, the funny thing is when Sauce and I were doing our little mock draft, either the first time or the second draft show, we talked about the fact that Ruben Bain would slide down the boards. Now, I think in our hypotheticals, he slid further than this, but I think there are some question marks about him. I think he has to be paired with another stud on the other side. I don't think that he's able to take over and just be like a pure Micah Parsons type of guy that can just be a game wrecker. But I definitely think for the way this is shaking out, yeah, the Dolphins could use help everywhere. Yeah. I mean, they really are looking for just best player available, and this in Ruben Bain is the best player available in this situation.
Ben, do you think the arm length stuff matters? Like, there's so much talk. 31-inch arms, 32, 31 and an 8. It's unbelievable. But, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know, obviously, how much it actually
I think it's always, with everything in life, it's always the extremes. If he has T-Rex arms, I think it's a problem, right? But I think if it's lower than the average and less than the average, then I don't think it's that big of an issue. It's how, with pass rushers, it's more about your get off and your ability to bend around corners and to be flexible. And I think that he's shown enough of that. Is a long arm going to be part of his game? Probably not. But has he shown a way to get around that just with his tenacity? For sure. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for him.
All right, should we do one more and then break?
No, we should break right now. We should break right now.
Well, it sounds like when we come back, it's kind of the pivotal pick because if the Cowboys stay put, Charch might devastate the Vikings' hopes. We'll see. Charch will pick for the Cowboys after this. The Power Trip mock draft returns after this on The Fan.
Welcome back to the 69th annual NFL mock draft.
That's right. They're all here. Nordo, Cinny, Charch, Bosberg, Saucy, of course. Parker's here. Leber, Alec Lewis is here. PA will be in just a little bit. Cast of Thousands making your picks.
Actually, none of them are here. They're all out in the hallway eating. It's just Zach and Charch and you and me.
That's pretty much on brand.
Yeah.
The entire fan staff is in the
just
hallway
eating.
now, including the guy who knows the show.
Yeah, I know.
He's on the radio show with us every day, and he's out there completely oblivious to the fact that we're back on the radio right now.
No, just shoving his face.
Favorite day of the year.
Our boss, big boss, is out there eating food right now.
Yep.
And where they are in the hallway right here,
right out
there
here.
are two large red lights indicating that we are on air right now.
Yeah.
My favorite part was Sauce was getting up to go get barbecue, 10 minutes ago. And Parker goes, "You look hungry."
Did he really?
We were just talking about these ribs that are out there, and I asked Sauce when was the last time he saw his ribs.
Oh, my God.
That's a huge bitch.
And he said it was the day he was born.
When's Max back?
He's right here. I don't know what you're talking about.
How's the food?
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. It's, me. I say a lot of things. That's the best barbecue I've ever had in my life, and I'm not kidding.
Woo! The flavors are melting on my tongue.
That's gonorrhea.
Yeah, that's gonorrhea.
Sauce, you should take a picture. Say, this is Gianluca, and this is the best barbecue I've ever had. Arrivederci.
I'll take
to
it with
Tuscany.
John, the owner. I'll stand next to John. Yeah, we have to do that. Yeah, we should all do it. We should all stand by John.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah, good bit.
We cannot stop making
to
fun
Tuscany.
of him, even when there's no
As
reason
someone who
for it.
grew up in the South eating barbecue, it's incredible.
Let's
I
go.
can't believe it.
Nice.
Can I just say that I've never, first time in my life, I've never had barbecue and coffee at the same time. I'm so thankful that I'm having this right now.
Well, I hope
it's a good pairing.
I hope you guys don't mind, but we're trying to do a radio show while you're having breakfast. Could we get back to the pouch of mock draft?
Yeah. And again, according to the experts, this is the key pick, right? If everybody stays put, if this falls exactly like this, if the Vikings are watching anything, they're watching pick 12 and what the crazy Cowboys do. And Paul Charchian will make the pick for the Cowboys.
I am the skeletal remains of Jerry Jones, general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. I've made countless roster blunders, and my last 3 drafts have not yielded any exceptional players. And I traded away the league's best defensive player, Micah Parsons, last year. My team has won just 1 playoff game since 2018 and has not advanced out of the divisional round since 1995.
How is that possible?
But since I own the team, I will never face accountability. And I certainly don't have to worry about any internal insurrection because the second in command is my son. My lack of accountability has led to countless team needs for Dallas, including Micah Parsons' replacement at edge, cornerback, safety, running back, and right tackle. Looking at the board here, Cowboys ranked dead last in passing yards allowed and passing touchdowns allowed last year, and both outside cornerback positions are available. Trayvon Diggs bombed last year. So we are going to attack the cornerback position and take the best available cornerback in this draft. Mansour Delane from LSU. He is a great coverage cornerback, very good in zone specifically, tremendous ball skills, 18 passes defended in the last 2 years, reads quarterbacks well, ball skills, and we are taking the best cornerback off the board and start rebuilding that Dallas secondary.
Great pick by Charch. This is a pick where if he gets to 8, right in front of the Chiefs, the Cowboys could move up with some of the ammo they have to get him. If they stay at 12 and get Mansour Delane, this would be an outstanding pick by them.
You know, a lot of people think that whenever the corners start to go, at least the first corner, then there will be a short, small run on corners because I think this is a kind of a top-heavy draft for corners. So this could sort of be the first domino for the next couple of teams of like, okay, we better just go ahead and grab our guy because there are a lot of teams that need corner, and there's only a few out there that probably have a higher first-round grade.
I love this player, and I think he's going to be in play at 8 with the Saints, too. It's obviously down the road, but it would be a safe pick. Guy's a great player.
Do we think, though, in reality, that the Cowboys are going to package their picks and move up?
Definitely think it's a possibility. Them getting in that like 6 range with the Browns makes a ton of sense, but we'll see. They don't have a ton of day 2 picks, so
I don't know if we've really talked about this whole NFL draft strategy, and I do think that there's a bet out there, Sauce, that we need to take on this.
Sure.
I know that a lot of people think that there's going to be a lot of trades in this draft, but we all know that it takes 2 to tango. And I just don't know how many teams are willing to give up draft equity this year and possibly next year to move up for what a lot of people think is a good draft, not great or elite draft. Mm-hmm. So who would the Cowboys want to package up to move up 5, 6, 7 spots to? Like, who's worth it for them that's going to make that much of a difference? If it's not a guy like Jeremiah Love,
Caleb Downs, Ben, would be, to me, Caleb Downs would be the one guy for Dallas.
Okay, so there's one guy.
Or Sonny Styles. I think you look at Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, or potentially Jordan Tyson, the receiver. But again, with the risk of that guy, you're going to package multiple picks to trade up for a guy who's navigated the injuries. That's just can't be the most intelligent move, but these teams don't do intelligent
And
things.
anybody who would trade one of next year's draft picks is insane because there's so many quarterbacks that are available next year to give anything away. Who knows if your season's going to fall apart and you need a quarterback. You cannot give up a pick from next year.
I think the teams like the Cowboys and who have certified starting quarterbacks would be willing to move these picks. I think the rumor of why there might be a lot of trades is there's so many teams with multiple picks. I think it's 6 that have multiple picks in this draft that then wouldn't have to give up the equity in next year's draft. So that's where I think the trade rumor comes in. And I think it all starts at the third pick, right? If that pick's moved and then you see some of these defensive ends that fall down the board a little, that's where I think you could also see some movement. But what Chart said, Caleb Downs, if they went up to 8 to get him, that might not be the worst idea because you'd have to get in front of the Giants if they don't take him at 5. And you'd probably have to get in front of the Chiefs. They might take him at 9.
Right. You are electric.
Thanks, man.
You really are.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Ben's former team, the Rams, at pick 13 with Gregg Swedberg.
Yeah, people talk about the Cowboys maybe wrecking the Vikings draft. It's possible the Rams could too. The Rams have a lot of... That's a team that's not that far away. And they have an awful lot of good players and no really glaring needs. They could use another receiver. You got some players around here on the offensive line that maybe would be helpful for them. You could take Sadiq at tight end and add to a very good offense. Or maybe you have a certain safety rated high up on your board and you just take the best player available when other teams don't. In this case... We'll make it easy on them. We'll take the wide receiver from their hometown. We'll take Mekhi Lemon to pair with them. He'll adds another piece to their puzzle. He's gets to Stafford someone to throw to in his last couple of years here. So I think this pick could go in a lot of different directions. So I just figured stay in town. And by the way, I'd just like to reach out now to the Reddit community. I really would like to be ripped on Reddit today. Because you rip everybody else on the damn show. I'd like to be ripped too.
Oh, that's very sweet.
For what? Handsomeness?
Virility?
I think there is some steam that the Rams would either stay at this pick or move back and take Ty Simpson. Because I think they realize like the team that they have built could win them a Super Bowl if they all stay healthy. The Mekhi Lemon pick is, again, like the Giants pick at pick 5. It's an absolute luxury pick. You don't need wide receiver, but you could build an offense that could dominate people. I think there's late steam that the Rams love Ty Simpson, and he might go as high as 13. Something to watch.
Ooh.
If he goes as high as 13, it would be crazy. It would, in my opinion. I think it could have. I wouldn't say it's never say never. I just don't think he is suited for that level of spot. But I do think the back end of the first round, you're probably going to see Ty Simpson because there are going to be multiple teams kind of lurking.
Yeah, Miami's got that 30 pick.
I'd like to know whose steam that is. Is that his agent's steam saying?
Yeah, it might be. But there were a bunch of people yesterday on ESPN that I love that were like, no one, I think it even might have been our guy, Tom Pelissero. No one loves Ty Simpson more than the Rams. So something to watch.
We referenced it earlier, but a lot of you guys were not in the room yet. Tom Pelissero with Rich Eisen yesterday said Carson Beck is like the late hot quarterback that's climbing the boards and might be a late first round pick, a sneaky late first. Yeah. That'd be shocking. Everyone's loving Carson Beck behind the scenes.
That sounds like Carson Beck's agent, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tom's pretty plugged in.
Yeah, Tom's pretty connected.
I can't imagine Tom would say that without a pretty high level understanding of what teams would do. Probably in the top. I would that one in like the second round wouldn't surprise me because he is. I mean, if you're looking for like smart mind, he is that. And he's played a lot of football, so he checks that box. And there is a crazy fall off after Fernando Mendoza, so it's kind of a pick your flavor at that point.
All right.
But back to the first round would be nuts.
All right, we're getting closer. Ravens at 14. That's the fans, Paul Lambert.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Cool.
This is a pick that tonight will probably wreck your dreams of this guy landing at pick 18 because they love throwing to this position. They have a old Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely left and went to the Giants. I think if you are watching tonight and you want this guy, this is the pick. It starts where he might go. And I will take, with the Ravens' 14th overall pick, tight end Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon.
Oh.
Makes a lot of sense. They let Isaiah Likely go in free agency. I saw some mention Mark Andrews, I think 31 years old. And it's the drop off at the position, at the tight end position, is dramatic. There is exactly one player who's viewed as an elite prospect. So if you don't get him, you're kind of, then you got a developmental guy after that. So I think it makes sense. You frequently see Sadiq going right here to Baltimore, and it all adds up. It's a very, very logical spot.
Ben, this is your guy, right? Wouldn't you say this is your favorite player in the draft? Is that accurate or not? Or close?
One of my favorite players. Yeah.
How buzzkill would this be for you if he goes 4 picks before us?
Not surprising. I mean, I was actually shocked if he's there at 18. So, if he is picked a couple slots before, I'm like, well, this is kind of where I thought he was going to go, and a lot of people thought he was going to go. So he's super talented, and I think the misconception with him is everybody just sees like this straight up athlete. The guy can be an inline tight end to block as well. He's a very willing blocker. He shows a lot of grit and toughness. So I think he's kind of the complete player as long as he can be more consistent with his hands. So this is a great selection based on what the Ravens need.
And doesn't it seem like the Ravens always are in the exact right place to get the exact right
Doesn't
player?
it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Alec, do you believe the Vikings would be more than interested in Sadiq if he was available at 18?
Yeah, I do. And it's just when you're picking in the first round, you want a blue chip, Pro Bowl, all pro caliber player. And there aren't a ton of those guys in this draft. Sadiq can definitely be that guy. If this happens, I mean, it's going to be interesting to me at this point. Then it's pretty, I mean, unless someone snags Dylan Thieneman, everyone who's mocked him for 5 months now finds out, is this the guy they loved? Or if they trade back with him on the board, what does that say? I think that would be pretty telling. So yeah, if Sadiq is there at 18, I mean, my eyes will be trained heavily on it.
All right, Sadiq goes 14th to the Ravens, but pick 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Parker Fox. Hi, Parker.
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you. Tampa Bay, kind of in a weird middle ground, hence why they have the 15th pick. Not bad enough to rebuild, but not a contender right now. Defense lost a lot of key pieces, especially at the linebacker and corner. They don't have really a true pass rush. So with the 15th pick, going to go with Kendrick Falk out of Auburn. I think he's the answer to the defense. He brings size, power, and enough pass rush to make sense in the middle. Tampa's kind of, they need that physical presence, and he's got a lot of upside. So a young guy, Kendrick Falk out of Auburn.
Anyone?
That's who I had going there.
Do I love him? I think it all depends on where he's at on the defensive line. I look at his rare size. He's a big dude. He doesn't show as much consistent twitch off the line. Like, to me, he's not a pure pass rusher. Like, if you're looking for just a 3-down defensive end, I think he's the guy. I think he's a good player. If you're looking at him as the new position of being an edge player, I don't think that he's that guy. Just on third down and just in passing situations. So you are getting more snaps out of this guy. I just think that he lacks some of the, I think the rare skills that some of these elite pass rushers have. But he's still a good, solid player.
You made it sound like his size is somewhat abnormal.
I think he's 6'6", 275 pounds.
That's a huge bitch.
Wow.
Freak.
He's a freak.
And he's sponsored by Canes, getting ready for draft day. So
You should go number 1.
Yep.
You should go number 1.
If he has to go to the bathroom, he will.
I said we get through all the picks to the Vikings in this segment. Okay?
Yeah, let's go through these last two as well. So the Jets. Ben, you picked him second. You took David Bailey second with the New York Jets. You're on the clock again with the New York Jets at pick 16. What do they do here?
Okay, so I can already hear Charch. He's going to scream at me, and it's going to be okay. Okay,
I love that.
I know it. I'm expecting it, and I suppose this is everybody's opportunity on Reddit. If you want to go after me, then go after me. I think that they are going to look receiver at this position. They need to get more production on the outside, and there's one receiver that's right on the board right now that is probably too high for him because he's a lot of mocks for late in the first round. He flat out gets open all the time. Has one of the highest, yards per completion or reception in college football. He also returns punts. Like, to me, Casey Concepcion, the receiver from Texas A&M. I know he gets a lot of news because of his speech impediment and his ability to kind of rise above it. This dude is flat out just a great football player, and I think that he's deserving to go in this spot and just kind of be an offensive weapon for the Jets.
There's a lot of people who have mocked Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana at this spot. I don't, from everything I understand, like that is not going to happen. Concepcion is electric. So I like it, Ben. Good job.
Thank you.
They need receiver help, right? I mean, you got Garrett Wilson and nobody. So, it certainly fills a huge need. You could trade back and still get Concepcion, and that's, and maybe they do that. I see a guy who's still raw, a lot of drops, a lot of body catches, but you get you iron those things out, and you've got an amazing athlete, just super fluid, who can be used all over the field and just hard cuts to get separation and very productive. There's a lot to like here. I don't know that the Jets need to take him all the way up at 16, but it certainly fills a need for this team.
I think the Jets were waiting to get one of the three best receivers to fall to him at this place. So this is a little bit of a reach, but they have a tremendous need, like Ben says.
I'll also say this. If you're watching tonight and you're waiting for Sadiq at 18 and Sadiq hasn't been picked and you get to 16 and the Jets take him, that's not going to be the most surprising thing to me either. So they're another landmine in the Sadiq watch, I would say.
Sinykin, quickly, because Concepcion is on this little big board here on ESPN.com, is the 6th ranked wide receiver. Denzel Boston from Washington is 4th, and then Omar Cooper Jr., which you guys just mentioned, from Indiana, is 5th. Omar Cooper Jr., again, you watched every snap. Your thoughts? Is he worthy of a 16th or so pick?
He made the play of the year in college football, right? The Penn State catch. That's going to live on forever. But he's not a one-trick pony. He's a guy that'll go in this range. I think Pittsburgh's a logical landing spot for him. I think they're going to be in the wide receiver derby. I don't have any issue. I think Concepcion has more upside. I remember his grandpa was a shortstop for the Reds, Davey, wasn't he? Or was that a different family? But I remember Davey Concepcion from my Big Red days in the 70s.
I'm with you.
I like Omar Cooper a lot because he steps up in big moments. And he's a first-round pick. It's funny, my son Jackson, who just graduated from IU, just texted me literally a second ago, I cannot believe Omar is a projected top 15 to 20 pick because they had Elijah Surratt in Indiana, who they called the Waffle House because he's always open. Charlie Becker emerged late. They had a lot of talent there, but Cooper was the guy they trusted to make the big catch and the big play. And, I think this is about the range he goes, but I have no issue with Concepcion because I do think he's got a higher ceiling.
Fair enough. All right, last pick before we take a break and then do the Vikings pick at 18 after this. Alec Lewis picks for the Detroit Lions at pick 17.
Feels like tackle. Just has to be tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Alabama gigantic man whose measurables I probably need to Google.
Just ballparking for me.
Yeah, just guess.
Yeah, Caden Proctor is his name from Alabama.
Just guess.
And yeah, he's massive.
Approximately how massive?
big?
I think it's like 360 pounds, but he's been anywhere up to like 380. So, yeah, the Lions, of course, are going to take a tackle. They're going to replace some of the guys they've lost. I think Taylor Decker. They might move Penei Sewell to left, and then he could play right. So makes sense to me.
Alec, why not go Spencer Fano here?
I'm not going to pretend to be an elite offensive tackle analyst here, but I just think the size and the potential athleticism of a guy 360 pounds is, you just don't find those guys walking the planet. So.
That's a huge bitch.
Also kind of a Dan Campbell kind of a guy, plays with an edge.
Yeah, and I do think there are some like character, how committed, how much does he love it? And the Lions, like their MO is you've got to love it more than anybody else in the world. So, we'll see, but that's the pick in my opinion.
Is this the guy that like transferred to Iowa, took NIL money, and then went back?
Yes.
That's a smart guy. I like it.
Brilliant.
All right, we're through 17. When we come back, we'll have the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, pick for the Minnesota Vikings at pick 18, and we'll go around the room and get everybody else's thoughts on pick 18 as well. The Power Trip mock draft and the Vikings selection after this on The Fan.
Welcome back to the 69th annual NFL mock draft.
I don't think I've seen a water cooler experience at the radio station like this in the history of my 19 years working here. I can't believe how many people are. You guys are gathered around the barbecue like you had to hunt down a bison and chop him up so you'd exist.
Like the Oregon Trail,
it's incredible.
yes. Yeah.
Well, when it's this good.
Yeah, it smells great.
And big thanks to Animales for coming in and John and his staff for coming in. This is and Sauce for organizing this whole thing. Meat Sauce comes through with all the meats as well.
Yeah.
So
it's shocking he's involved in the food. It's incredible.
I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, we're doing a draft show and we eat some food for Thursday. Who should we put in charge?
Yeah.
Sauce.
I volunteer. There he is.
Well, you nailed it.
Saucy.
You nailed it.
You did it, buddy.
It's great. It's outstanding.
You
Thank
did
you.
it.
Joining the Power Trick mock draft for about the 90th straight year is the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen. Good morning.
Polly!
How does one chide Sauce and basically call him fat when he's the one that arranged for all the food?
Easily.
I mean, that is so Power Trip-esque.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's in our contracts.
That's what we have to. We have to.
We have to rip them. Have you seen a list of how these draft picks have fallen?
Listen to most, if not all of it. Think it's cool. Think Saucy. I think Saucy's onto something with the Rams. Bossberg made the pick, but I think Saucy's onto something with that Alabama quarterback, just not in that spot. That's not super new news, but I think the Rams are really, really up to something tonight. So 7:00 we have a draft show early in the 9 to noon presentation with welcome back Charchie. We will share some steam that has come our way late regarding other teams that I think can shape what the Minnesota Vikings do at 18.
All right. The way that this Power Trip mock draft has fallen, do you believe this is a good board for the Vikings or bad board for the Vikings?
This is I would say, whatever is between very good and fantastic. So Dylan Thieneman being available would be in my estimation, it would be a good pick and it would be a safe pick. Now, the Oregon tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, if he's available there, that could be deemed as a luxury pick with what they have offensively. So then you think about those two and how they can help the 2026 Minnesota Vikings. And, whether you deem them singles, doubles, maybe triples, there still are home run picks to be had. So I'm curious to see if they swing for the fences tonight with something at 18. And that's why I think it behooves everybody to listen to Nacho, Pete, Paul, and yours truly this evening, beginning at 7, because I think there's going to be a significant run on offensive linemen, somewhere around 10, 11, or 12. So the information that I have is that there are 4 or 5 offensive linemen everybody wants. And there's some of these tackles that teams are going to make guards, and they think they're going to do really well, and they're excited about them. The key here is whichever teams take those offensive linemen cause other players to drop. Now, if it doesn't fall the right way for the Vikings, they have 4 picks within the top 100. I feel secure in just looking at the depth chart of what they have, that they would like to come out of those first the top 100 picks. If they could get one more, which would be trading back, then they want 3 or 4 guys to play and play immediately. That's the A topic out of this draft, especially the way some of the recent drafts have gone. So there are a lot of possibilities there.
Names aside, let's talk about the idea of safe pick versus home run pick, like you just mentioned. And the idea that Rob Brzezinski is not yet a permanent general manager. So he has a window to make a selection. Does that put him in a spot to swing for the fences because he's got nothing to lose? Or is a safe pick the smarter play to make sure that you look like you know what you're doing?
Well, it's an overused word here and around sports collaboration. This, from what I know, this truly is a collaborative effort. So Rob is he's the interim GM. Kevin O'Connell is the face of decision-making for the Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion. So I think a lot of it starts and stops with Kevin. Rob obviously has a lot to say. Brian Flores obviously has a lot to say. So I think that's going to play into the approach they take at 18. And it's going to come down to if Dylan Thieneman is available at 18. And there are certain other players that you may or may not hear about tonight, 7:00 KFAN with the draft show. I'd say let's start unfurling those names around the Dolphins picks, the Cowboys picks, when the offensive linemen start to start to fall off the board. It's going to come down to the discernment of what they want to do with the 2026 Vikings. And Harrison Smith's decision plays into it, doesn't play into it as much as I thought maybe yesterday. So we'll see how it falls.
For the purpose of the Power Trip mock, I'll take Dylan Thieneman. But I do, if people are really, really into the draft, all right, and I know we got a Wolves game tonight at 8:30, 8:40, whatever it is. If you do want more of a deeper dive on home run possibilities, non-Thieneman possibilities, we have the best group that you're going to hear for stuff like this. And I would say, I'd say right around the Giants, Dolphins, Cowboys. Just definitely start listening then to see who's available. Ben Leber, Ben's on at 10 today, and we'll kind of talk that out a little bit today.
Paul, I'm sorry if you just answered this, but if it came down to a spot where both Sadiq and Thieneman were there, who would they choose, do you think?
That's a great question. I'd say Dylan Thieneman in that situation. Okay. You see, with Thieneman, and so much stuff has been regurgitated, and so many people locally and nationally have said so many things so many times that I'm not exactly sure if the communicative nature of Dylan Thieneman is being put where it should be. In other words, and Ben and I have talked about this too, is one thing with Dylan Thieneman is his communication skills are supposedly incredibly high end. Now, if you think about the way Brian Flores runs defense, you need two people, and Ben would know more about this than me and all of us. In that style of defense, you need two elite, not very good, elite communicators. They have one in Brian and Blake Cashman. They had one in Harrison Smith. So when it comes to getting everybody on the back end, the DB squared away with the tricks, not everybody can do that. Dylan Thieneman is a guy, from what I understand, who can get everybody squared away.
Two things that I want to bring up. You mentioned that the decision of Harrison Smith actually bears some weight in this draft.
Yeah, not as much as I thought.
Not as much as I was going to say, because I was like,
so in other words, if they know Harrison's coming back and they like Thieneman, I think they'd still take Dylan.
Well, that's, I guess, my point is like, I approach this draft as like, it doesn't matter what Harrison Smith does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
if he's coming back,
right.
I don't think he's going to come back for 17 games.
Right.
If he comes back, let's say it's 10 games, you know pretty much for sure this will be the last 10 games in his career. So you still have to plan for the future. You got to plan for the short term, like who's going to start the season and give you that short run until he gets back. And then even when he gets back, there's a way that you add a guy like Dylan Thieneman into the mix still. It's not like he replaces whoever safety is in there. He's just an extra value add in that situation. So I'm glad that we cleared that up and we're on the same page.
We got a lot to talk about at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they're also, there's an A- topic. Bossberg, when he hires all of us, wants us to hammer on the A topic. That is the A topic for the listeners. And the A topic is the Vikings at 18. I think the A- topic here for the Vikings at 18 is the voluminous nature of incredibly good football players who have injury concerns. Yeah. Now, I heard Charts talking about Caleb Downs. There are some players, there are some teams, from what I've been told, that are petrified with an injury concern with Caleb Downs, Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, Jermod McCoy, tight end from Tennessee. I'm going to share this the corner. Thank you. I'm going to share this 9 to noon. He's not going to go in the top 20. I mean, he might drop out of the first round from what I understand. Somewhere 25 to 32 maybe, because he is supremely gifted. Vanderbilt tight end Eli Stowers in a deep tight end draft. There are some teams that have him eliminated from their draft boards simply because of a shoulder. Now, we all read that so-and-so has a shoulder, so-and-so has this, but we don't know the severity of the situation until we get close to it and you start talking to the right people. So, I think Eli Stowers, somebody who I could see going at the end of the first round, early in the second round. And I think there could be a big time drop with him. So that all plays into, and there are more players who were really good at one time or are really good now and are battling something. Dante Corleone from Cincinnati, a defensive tackle. He's one of them. So I think, when
his name is technically Don Corleone.
Don Corleone.
Are you kidding me?
I ain't kidding you. But they're
obvious nickname of all time. Right?
I think there are.
I have to call him the Godfather.
There are a lot of teams who want to do something, and it comes down to their level of belief in their medical staffs. And more importantly, the doctors.
What about Caleb Banks?
That they have Caleb Banks. He would fall into that category. Yeah. He's one of those guys where you got to really rely on not only your medical staff but the doctors that you employ from the outside, like from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, and then you make that decision.
Yeah, this will be a tease to our segment that I jump on with you here in about an hour. But I do want, based on our scenario that happened today.
Yeah,
I know Bosberg's got a guy that he was kind of whispering in the break that is available, and I want to get your thoughts on that guy because it is on defense. It's more of a frontliner guy, and if he's there, I want to hear your thoughts on the choice between Thieneman and this guy.
We'll save that for 7 and on.
Yeah, there you go.
Tonight, KFAN.
Oh, all right. Oh, a deep tease.
Yeah, we'll save that one for tonight.
Wow. All right. Jeez.
Well, if you won't say it out loud, I will, because they need a defensive tackle like.
Well, they need a lot.
They need and there's really one really good one, not a bunch of pretty good ones.
Well, Jermod McCoy, a corner from Tennessee, is an amazing player. Amazing player. But he has.
That's not the guy I was talking about.
But they have. I think it's fair to say that if I believe that they want to end up with 4 or 5 picks in the top 100, and they want 3 or 4 of those guys at least to play right now, well, that means this guy there, that guy there, this guy there. The offensive lineman situation is what's messing me up a little bit, because, it's not a 0%er. The Minnesota Vikings take an offensive lineman at 18.
I agree.
I mean, even somebody who doesn't necessarily start this year.
Well, and if Spencer Fano drops to here like they did in our mock, many people think he's the best offensive lineman in this draft.
And
he's sitting at 18
too. So.
Yep. Plays the right side.
So, for the purposes of the Power Trip Morning Show, wildly successful and highly touted as it is, the 69th annual, the Minnesota Vikings select Dylan Thieneman, safety, Oregon.
And doesn't it make you nervous? The last time we all agreed on what a great pick, a position of need, it was Garrett Bradbury. And we all thought, God, that's the greatest pick we've had in a long time. Turns out it wasn't.
Yeah.
He went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Garrett's better than people seem to think he is.
Haul your hands up.
I mean, it took Ben Johnson, who we all love and respect, 3 seconds to trade for him when he lost his center. So I'm going to trust Ben there with respect.
I have a question for you, and I think I know the answer. I don't have any patience, so do I have to wait to 7 or till 7 p.m. tonight to find out who these home run picks are?
Say the Vikings pick at 9:35 tonight. You need to wait till 9:33 because of the tweet machine.
Can I text you?
No, because you'll put it on Twitter.
No.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will.
Me? Okay, I love you. Oh, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I read you, though.
I appreciate you,
I read
too.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get it.
We want people to listen to the show, period.
Yeah,
we
it's
have a great time doing it.
Yeah.
And Dylan Thieneman would be, if it's gun to the head right now, and I had to lay out a name because it was life or death, I'd say Dylan Thieneman. But I don't think that's absolutely the answer tonight at 18.
There's no chance that Thieneman is to Caleb Downs what Lewis Seen was to Kyle Hamilton.
Good.
Shush.
Good question.
Wow, that's an interesting question. Yeah. And I love somebody, I think it was Nacho who laid out Durante Jones, the former DB's coach for the Vikings, is the defensive coordinator for Washington, and he's going to do a fair amount of things that Brian Flores did. Maybe not the whole package, but he's going to need a big-time communicator back there, too. I think the communication part of it with Thieneman is what's really getting me over the hump with him. At this stage of his career, he's good. Alec has written and talked 9 to noon about a lot of great traits Dylan Thieneman possesses. And again, he is very young. I think, what is he, 22?
I think 21 or 20.
Yeah, 21.
Oregon staff, they talk about this guy like they would bet their whole, they love this guy.
Yeah.
And the work habits, the commitment. So From that standpoint, all of those boxes.
But there very well could be a new general manager for the Minnesota Vikings within the next month and a half. I mean, I do fully expect there. Alex said this a couple of times, and I didn't really believe him, but now I do. Simply, I had my reasons, but I do believe that there will be a general manager search. So this is an in-between period here from a regime to a next regime. So this has a little Wild West to it right now, and I like that a lot. Sweet. Listen tonight at 7:00. I promise you.
All right, dude. Off. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. We shouldn't leave before Cindy is allowed to at least make some sort of selection for the Packers.
Do we have to?
Well, I want to hear Charchi talk about the Vikings pick too.
Well, I think there's Thieneman fatigue in this town because we've been talking about the same guy for 2 months.
Sauce is bored.
Right. So I think there are some people that are just feeling like they need to be creative and find a different player just because we've been talking about him for so long. But he's basically the perfect fit for this team. And I think there's a point at which you just don't overthink it. And Thieneman just makes too much sense. I think the thing that's most interesting about what PA said is that he believes that the team would not take Kenyon Sadiq over Thieneman. And those are the two guys that most people have got going to Minnesota. One of those combination of two. And PA may be right about that.
I think I would disagree with them, but we'll see tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it fun.
Well, I wonder if you have different sources. Interesting. Before we make Sinykin talk about the Packers or whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Alec, I don't know if you saw this over your shoulder or if you were doom scrolling, but you're an Alabama guy, correct?
I am.
Kalen DeBoer, 7 years, $87.5 million.
It's just whoever his agent is did a great job.
What?
But he hasn't won it. I mean, the culture down there makes me very sad because of what they were, and they were the most physical. They were the most physical, imposing team, and now they are kind of like a pass-happy spread attack. And
so you hate this?
He seems like a great guy, but I prefer winning. So
wow,
oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
what a world, you get blown out.
Jeez.
Yeah, Alec doesn't like the culture in the South.
Get blown out by Indiana and get paid. That's a beautiful thing for him.
Yeah. All right, Dave Sinykin, what's up with the Packers in 2026 with the draft? What are they looking for?
The beautiful thing is the draft starts tomorrow for the Packers, so I can focus on the Wolves tonight and not be distracted. Goody likes to cook on day 2, and I have a draft crush that if he starts to slip tomorrow night, doesn't get picked tonight, it's Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State. That's a big need for Green Bay. You don't draft for need, I get all that, but if he happens to be there in the 40s, I could see Green Bay trying to move up to get him. You can read my 7-round mock at zonecoverage.com, by the way. I got the Packers taking the biggest hole in the roster right now is nose tackle. They do not have a functional nose tackle. Maybe they'll find a veteran after the draft, but if Lee Hunter, the big guy from Texas Tech, is sitting there at 52, that's a home run pick to put between Devontae Wyatt and Javon Hargrave. They don't have a nose. And with the new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, coming in, putting in a 3-4, they need a nose. And I think they're going to try to address that if he's there. So I think it's defense for Green Bay on Friday, and I think it's offense all day long. They have 6 picks on Saturday. They're going to get all the skill positions filled up, maybe even a backup quarterback, because they brought in a secret quarterback that they wouldn't let the beat reporters announce who he was. I think it's the Arkansas guy myself.
Yeah, Drake Lindsay.
Yeah.
So I think it's defense tomorrow night for Green Bay. Nose tackle, corner, maybe an edge rusher if there's one there that they love.
Yeah, Don Corleone.
Brilliant.
All right, so before we wrap up in like 8 minutes, I want Parker and you to break down tonight's game. But let's put a final bow on the draft. Any final thoughts, whether it's Vikings related or draft related, before we wrap this thing up for the year? Anyone? Sauce, let's start with you.
Yeah, come on, Sauce.
I think from listening, hold on.
Take your time.
I think from listening and what I've gathered by sitting here with you guys for an hour and a half, I think if Caleb Downs gets to like pick 11, they might make a phone call to move up to pick 11 because they, as you said, Corey, the GM, it's maybe not his job. He's probably got nothing to lose. Your take, Bossberg, about is it basically like Lewis Seen and Kyle Hamilton? I think if you get to 11, I think they might be a phone call to move them up from 18 to 11 to take Caleb Downs, who would be an absolute home run pick in for your Minnesota Vikings.
It really is, though. You said it earlier. It is so crazy that they have a pick at 18 where you feel okay, but not really phenomenal. And if you had lost 2 more games, you would be in the spot that you're maybe picking it's just crazy how it is.
Think about how much worse your culture would have been had you lost those 2 games.
Yeah, because I bet Giants fans are going to be devastated if they get your the Love character at pick 5 because of all the losses they have.
But they were memorable. Alec, you follow the team, right? Give me the last 5 wins. The teams, go.
They beat the Packers backups. I think that was week 17 or 18.
Never forget that game.
The Giants, Jackson Dart played one of the worst quarterback games I've ever seen in my whole life.
Totally worth winning that one. That was great.
The Commanders, Marcus Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
And
Detroit?
The Lions. That was memorable. Harrison Smith had a great game, and Jared Goff threw like 6 picks.
Mm. I mean, we'll never forget those games.
It was great. Yeah, I do think tonight's going to be fun because there will be a lot of activity, specifically in the middle part of the first round. So it should be a blast.
Can anybody tell me whether or not they believe Grenard's going to be on this team tomorrow?
I'd say I believe that he will be on the team unless a team like Philadelphia really steps up their asks to where it's a premium trade that makes sense for the Vikings to move a player who is as important as Jonathan Grenard is.
Yeah, if you got to get something for him. You're going to lose another starter. You can't do that.
The defense, to your point, Greg, earlier, like there are a lot of holes on this team. You can't lose a guy who is arguably like top 3 most impactful defenders in your best pass rusher.
It's just about the money at this point,
yes,
right?
Of course.
And so in general, the Vikings kind of have to figure out where their money is still.
Beep, bop, boop, fixed.
Correct.
Piece of cake.
Charge your thoughts.
Sign whoever you want to whatever you want.
Grenard doesn't have really much leverage here. At the end of the day, teams almost never actually hold out into the season. You know, that's don't blink unless you get a really good deal for Grenard, and don't. You know, I would be very disappointed if Brzezinski gave him away. This is an opportunity, even at the interim level, to show some grit and strength, and let's not make a bad deal on a player who just wants to get paid more. That's just not. It's not a good enough reason. He probably should be paid more. Then maybe you can find a way to accommodate that. But even if you can't, the Vikings have the leverage. And let's not move an impact player for a 3rd rounder.
That would be my expectations. At some point before training camp, you sit together, Drew Rosenhaus flies in, and Rob and him have that conversation.
Good.
So.
All right, quickly, Wolves After Dark, In the Zone, Wolves fan line, all that stuff. Let's do a fake version of it. Parker Fox, what has to happen tonight to win Game 3 against the Nuggets? Go.
Yeah, I think you got to continue to put pressure on the rim. We saw the foul disparity in Game 1 for the Wolves, and then that thing kind of evened up in Game 2. So I think if you're the Timberwolves and you're a guy like Jaden McDaniels, you have to stay by your word. They're all bad defenders, so you got to continue to put pressure on the rim, and then you have to, Jokic is Jokic. He's going to continue to be himself, but Rudy was excellent down the stretch. Denver's a team that finishes games really well, and they didn't do that in Game 2. So if you're the Wolves, you got to continue to stick in it. They haven't put a complete game together yet either. So I think this is a team where you're coming back home to Target Center. The fans are going to be riled up. If you can put complete 48 minutes together, there's no reason why you can't win Game 3 tonight. And then I think if you do it tonight, you get the 2-1 lead. You're going to look really, really good for the rest of the series.
Dave?
Yeah, I think the winner tonight wins the series. And I think I'm worried about the Wolves because they tend to be better on the road than at home in the playoffs. I'm worried how they back up what was an amazing game on Monday night. What Parker said, use your physicality, use your athleticism, the advantages you have over Denver, attack them and tire out Murray and Jokic. Jokic and Murray are not going to go 2 for 13 in the 4th quarter again. But if they're tired, if they're worn down, you got a better chance against them. I expect a Jokic bounce back game tonight. Yeah. But I don't think Murray's going to go off. I'm really curious to see what the Wolves do tonight because I really do believe the winner tonight wins this series. And the Wolves have to prove to me that they can back up a really good performance and yap about it afterwards and do it again at home the next time.
Well, last thing, as we talked about pivotal Game 3s, Greg, you were there until about 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it sucked.
The Wild lost in double overtime to the Stars.
Yeah, 2 things. In the playoffs, officiating is really random. And what you have to do, instead of waiting around to retaliate, is you have to actually initiate. First game, the Wild initiated contact. They were first to the puck. They won the puck battles. They were doing all the hitting. Now, since Trennan went out, that's been a problem because I think he's the best one they have there. And the other thing is, the only real penalty they will always call and get right is when you throw the puck over the glass. And they did it too much, and that's why they lost the game. Dallas's power play is too good. You cannot be in the box.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of souvenirs though.
Boldy shot one out of his own zone from his own goal line and threw it over the glass.
He had to be
in
fired
the
up.
opposing. So yeah, I'm sure he was fired up, but don't do that.
So is it over?
No, because I honestly believe this. I think the Wild are better than Dallas.
I agree.
And they're just not as disciplined at this point as Dallas is. And for whatever reason, the refs let Jamie Benn get away with everything. He cross-checks Boldy in the head from behind last night. Gets nothing for it. I don't get it, and I don't understand why he gets away with the crap he gets away with. But I honestly think that the difference in the first game, they killed him. Second game, the difference was a bad goal, a lucky bounce off the end. And then last night, it went to overtime.
Need Zuccarello.
You guys are American treasures. Charge, we can listen to you, tonight with the draft show?
Yes, and coming up in the next segment, we'll be chatting a little more draft with PA.
Okay, so Charge
You're
next.
the best, buddy.
Alec, people can read you where? The Athletic?
TheAthletic.com.
And you have a podcast, and you did it with Sauce like a week ago.
The Alec Lewis Show, yeah.
There you go.
Got really creative.
All right, so thanks to Alec, thanks to Ben, thanks to PA, thanks to Charge, to Parker Fox, to Sauce, to Swedberg, to Sinykin. We're back tomorrow, 5:30 to 9, draft coverage basically the rest of the day right here on The Fan.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You two have it. Do your little dance, baby girl. Have a great day.